Back in high school, I needed to decide what I was going to be when I grew up, but I didn't really like any of the options that were presented to me. It seemed like I could either earn a good living working 40 hours a week in an office, doing something that I didn't really care about, or else I could do something that I would enjoy or work fewer hours but not earn very much money at all. I felt like I wanted to have my cake and eat it too, and I kind of wondered if it was even possible to earn a good living without having to do those things I didn't want to do. But eventually, after a lot of experimentation and research and trial and error, I figured out that there are plenty of ways that you can do exactly what I wanted. You can earn a great living on a flexible schedule and without having to work 40+ hours a week. Now, the version of this that I chose is basically to create products and then build systems to sell them. Now with this, of course, there's still a lot of work involved, but it's a lot less than 40 hours a week, and it's completely flexible. You can do these big projects of creating products and creating sales funnels when you want to, and then you can take time off when you want to. You can have weeks where you work more and weeks where you work less. And I love that. So in this video, I want to show you how to build some sales funnels, some processes that sell products for you without you having to be actively involved in every single sale. So these are called sales funnels often, and I have templates for 2 different ones. There are so many ways you can configure these, but we're going to look at 2 different options today, and I'm going to walk you through how they work and also how you can plan a high converting sales funnel of your own. Okay, so every sales funnel starts with traffic. Somehow people have to hear about you, hear about your brand, find out that you have a product for sale, so traffic. And the question here, and when you're planning this, is how will you get your traffic? A mistake I made for a long time that made my funnels just not work at all was that I was just hoping people would find me, but we need to be strategic about this and we want it to work. So for example, you might use Google ads, you might use YouTube videos, or you might use Pinterest, organic or Pinterest ads. I've written 3 options down here. You only necessarily need one, and I'd recommend you just work on developing one at a time, but you need to know where your traffic is going to come from. Now the next part is once someone finds out about you, you need to somehow get in contact with them so that they can enter your sales funnel and you can talk to them about your product, tell them more about it, help them figure out whether it's the right fit for them, etc. So typically how we do this is with an opt-in. So an opt-in is something that you offer in order to entice people to start this relationship with you. There are lots of different types of opt-in offers you can use. A few of my favorites are, first of all, if you have a product that's coming out soon, you could just have a wait list for your product. People who are somewhat interested can sign up for your wait list to find out when it is released. You also might just have a newsletter or some sort of informational email that you send out, and people can sign up to get those educational emails. And then also you might actually give them something specific right then. So it could be like a free workshop, or it could be a webinar, or it could be just a free checklist. There are so many options here. Now, sometimes you can attract more leads by putting a lot of opt-in offers out there into the world to entice people to join your email list, but that can also really complicate things. So it's best to start out with just one opt-in offer that's really strategic. So make sure you put plenty of thought into that. So people find out about you, then they sign up for one of your opt-ins, and then from there, right from that opt-in page where they signed up, you can take them onto a thank you page that tells them you successfully signed up, here's how you're gonna get that free thing. And this is optional, but you can add what's called a tripwire onto that page. So a tripwire is a small, just like low-priced offer. Typically, we want it to be really high value, really low price, so it's an easy yes for them. And the reason for this is because we want to help them get over that hump of buying from us early on so that they're comfortable buying from us in the future. And this also, of course, earns you a little bit of money, which means that you could potentially pay for ads to promote that opt-in, because then you are earning money on the back end immediately. If they say yes to that tripwire offer, then they will be taken to a page. And again, this is optional, but you could sell them something else, offer them something else they might be interested in. This is called an upsell. And then whether or not they say yes to that, you'll take them over to a page that gives them the details for the products that they purchased and tells them that their purchase was successful and that sort of thing. If they didn't purchase this first product, then instead of sending them over here, you're instead going to send them into an email sequence. So this email sequence is going to be promoting a product to them. Now keep in mind, this person is probably new to your brand. They're at least new to the sales funnel. So the first couple emails need to give them a little bit of context and help them to understand what sort of value you can give to them. And then from there, as these emails continue, and not very long later, I'm talking just email number like 2, 3, 4, you're going to start promoting an offer. Now, this offer, it could be the same as your tripwire or your upsell up here, but most of the time, this is going to be an offer that is a little bit more expensive. It's going to be the thing you really want them to buy. These things were more just about building the relationship and getting them into your funnel. This is where the real money is made. And this is also, this offer right here, this is where you want to strategize from. So when you're deciding what tripwire you're going to sell and what your opt-in offer should be, and even where you're going to get your traffic or what you're going to do to get your traffic on those platforms, like what YouTube video you're going to make or what your ad should say, you want to strategize from here because again, this is the thing that more than anything else you are trying to accomplish, is successfully selling that product. Okay, and then from here, if they say yes to this offer, then you could offer them another product that is related or you think they might want as well. And then again, you'll take them to that success page that gives them the details for the products they purchased. And if they say no to the offer, then you have a couple options here. You could send them into another email sequence that sells them something else or offers them this product in a different way or something like that. For this map right here, what I've done is I've sent them into a newsletter. Now, what's good about sending them into a newsletter is that typically newsletters are going to be mostly value, so you'll be able to build a relationship with them and give them some time to kind of cool down from the sale and be ready for potentially buying something different or a different promotion or something like that. So in your newsletter, you'll send them free, valuable content every week, and then every once in a while, you'll have a promotion of some sort. You'll put one of your products on a discount, or you'll add a bonus, or you'll release a new product, and they'll find out about all of that in your newsletter. Okay, so that's how the first sales funnel works that I've mapped out here. I don't think I said this earlier, but you can grab these templates for these two different sales funnels in the description below for free. So if you want to print them out and use them to plan your funnel like I'm doing right here, then be sure to check the description for that link. So now we're going to look at this second funnel. It's fairly similar, so we'll probably go through it a little bit quicker, but I'm just showing you another way you could configure things. So just like the other one, this one starts with traffic. This is super key. Every funnel, it has to have traffic. If you don't have traffic, your funnel won't work. It's just as simple as that. But here, instead of sending the traffic to just some random opt-in, any sort of opt-in you want, here we are specifically sending them to a webinar. So if you wanted your opt-in to be a webinar, then you'll use this plan instead. And so here we're sending them to a webinar registration. So you know how I said that we want to be backwards strategizing from what your offer is? Well, that is especially important when you're thinking about what your webinar topic will be. Make sure that your webinar topic is something that directly relates to your product, because that way you'll be attracting just the right people. So for example, in my business, I have a product called Creator Fast Track. And Creator Fast Track is a YouTube strategy course that teaches people how to grow their YouTube channel to 1,000 subscribers in just 3 months. Now, of course, it does this through a whole slew of video lessons that teach them every step of the strategy. And that's way more than I could cover in a webinar. But what I can do in a webinar is I can teach them the big picture strategy, right? Kind of that big 3-phase strategy of first you do this, then you move on to this thing, then you move on to this thing. And so that's exactly what my webinar is. My webinar has exactly the same promise as the program itself, which is to get 1,000 subscribers and get monetized in just 3 months. But in the 1-hour webinar, I just teach that big picture strategy. But it ensures that I'm attracting exactly the right people to that webinar who will be the most interested in buying the product. And that means that on those webinars, I see conversion rates as high as 20 and 25%, which is just crazy. Okay, but let's keep going with the big picture strategy here of this funnel. So traffic to a webinar registration page, and from there they get taken to a page that thanks them for signing up for the webinar and gives them the details they need. Now you'll notice there's this little video icon here, and you might have seen it over here as well. And that's because there are some pages in this funnel where adding a short video can make the page convert much better. And so I've added that video icon onto those pages. So for example, on this tripwire page, if you have a video there thanking them for signing up for that freebie and explaining to them how this tripwire can help them, that's going to make that page convert so much better. On your offer page, you definitely want a video that tells them about the offer and shows them whatever the product is and explains to them how it works. Now over here in this map, on this thank you page, you want a video thanking them for signing up for the webinar and telling them what they're going to learn at that webinar. And just them seeing you talking is going to make them a lot more interested in showing up for that webinar. So it's optional, but highly recommended. Okay, so from there, the webinar isn't happening quite yet. It's probably scheduled for a future time and date. So what's going to happen is they get sent over here into this email sequence. So this email sequence is what we call a show up sequence. And the point of the show up sequence is to get them to show up for the webinar event. Because if they just sign up and then you don't say anything to them after that, a tiny percentage of the people will actually show up. But if you send them just 3 or 4 emails, you'll see your show up rates go from something like 5% to more like 30, 40, or 50%. Now you'll notice that on these templates, I made these mail icons really grayed out in a light color so that you can actually write on them. So you could write, for example, the subject line of the emails or what the email is promoting to actually plan out your funnel on this template. So we've got these show up emails, and then from there, they're going to actually attend the event. And since this is for an evergreen automated type sales funnel, the assumption here is that this will be an automated webinar recording. I always recommend that you are really above board with this and completely honest and upfront. This is a recording and you don't try to pass it off as a live event. I don't think that's very ethical, and I don't think that it does good things with your relationship with your prospects. You need their trust if they're going to buy your product. They won't buy your product if they don't trust you. And so I think it's super important that right here, you're upfront, it's a recording. I always do that in my funnels. In that event, you're gonna tell them about your product at the end and explain to them how it works so that maybe they are interested in buying it. And if they say yes to that offer, then they'll be taken to the offer page itself. And then they might be offered an upsell. And then of course they'll be sent to a success page that gives them the access details for that product. If they're on that webinar and they say no, or they don't say anything at all, that's how most people say no, then they're going to be sent into another email sequence over here. And this email sequence is going to promote the product to them. So it's going to tell them more about the product. And I find that typically about 50% of the people who are going to say yes to the offer say yes at the webinar. And the other 50% of the people who are going to become customers, they don't say yes until they've gotten these emails from you and they've learned more about the product, and they see that there is some sort of deadline, there's some sort of timer, countdown, some sort of expiring promotion, and then toward the end here, they're like, oh, actually, I do really want it before it goes away. And so then, from all of these emails, you'll see they're being sent into the offer page, and again, getting that upsell and getting that success. Now, if they go to that offer page and they say no, or they're getting these emails and they say no, then they're going to follow this path over here and again, get popped onto your newsletter where they can get warmed up a little bit more, they can get to know you more, and eventually they can find out about more offers that you have for them. Okay, so there you have it, 2 different sales funnel outlines that you can use, whether you want to promote some sort of opt-in offer and have a tripwire afterward, or if you want to use a webinar and have a webinar sales funnel. Both of them work really well. The tripwire option earns a little bit more money at the beginning, so if right now your budget is small but you want to advertise, this could be a good option for you. And then on the other hand, this webinar funnel, it tends to overall convert a higher higher percentage of people to buy that main offer, but it takes a little bit more time to work. So they both work really well. Like I said, these templates are available in the description, so grab those if you want to plan out your funnel. I hope you found this video helpful, and if you are thinking of creating your own sales funnel, I hope that you can use this in order to create the most successful, high converting sales funnel possible. By the way, if you are new here, my name is Gillian Perkins, and I make videos here on this channel every single week about online business and how to make money online. So if you are interested in doing that yourself, if you're trying to build your own online business, then I would love to invite you to subscribe, to join me every week to learn more about online business strategy and online marketing strategy so that you can do so as successfully as possible. Thank you so much for joining me this week for this video. I hope you are having an amazing week. I love you, and I'll see you next time.